I want to say that I agree with Nancy in that I think that media is not a determinant factor, but that it does affect the process of adulting. I liked that she introduced the term psychological maturity because media does affect specifically that part of adult development. But I don't think that watching fairy tales would make a person more immature um, or develop more slowly, because I think that it depends on the individuals and we cannot generalize. Because, for example, we don't know if that hypothetical person would then read a book about American history and develop both ways and be like a happy medium. I also thought that the argument that the decline of maturity is is too is too partial, because I think Ruth Graham is being very close-minded in her article. First of all, I think that it's good that grown-ups read young adult novels, because that way they can understand how teenagers view the world these days and the way that teenagers think, and it can help form better relationships and connections between parents and their teenage children, or simply adults and teenagers. I think that her argument about that when she was a teenager, the books she read helped her become what she is today, is not a valid argument in this article, because she's talking about grown-ups reading young adult novels, and grown-ups have already grown up and become what they're gonna be, so they don't have to be shaped into something. So that argument is not valid in this article, and I think she would have to use this article if she were talking about how teenagers should read more serious books to grow up and mature faster. I also think that she doesn't present evidence when she says that adults read these books for nostalgia and escapism, because I think her article would have been stronger if she would have provided a fact or a statistic to prove this. And I think that being an adult can get boring sometimes, because being an adult is being too serious as you can get in your life. And I don't know, they should have a little pastime by reading novels with likable protagonists, like Graham said, and escape for a while from the real world and from all responsibilities. Also, I think that Graham's article comes into our discussion of adulting, because we have talked about how we think that millennials develop into adulthood farther in life than earlier generations, and also because we have talked about how millennials, and we have read articles about how millennials have a sense of escapism, and they like to avoid responsibilities, and it's all about freedom, and that's what she talks about in her article too.